So, good morning everyone. Today we will talk about the corrections to nautical publications. Presenter, which is me, Conor Miranda the second P. So, let's start. So, our learning objective: update the sailing directions, like list radio signals, and other miscellaneous publications using the corrections found in the notice to mariners. So, introductory. According to IMO requirements, our ship must keep a current list of nautical publications. Following the publication of a new edition, it should be entered along with the edition on board to maintain track of it until it is received. Sailing directions, list of lights, tide tables, list of radio signals, nautical almanac, chart catalog, mariner's handbook, and other relevant nautical publications will be included in the nautical publications. So the first one is Admiralty Sailing Directions. So Admiralty Sailing Directions, before using, the mariner must always check the most recent edition of the volume and its supplement where relevant are held. The second is check that all the amendments in Annual Notices to Mariners Part 2, which is amendments to sailing directions, have been applied. Using the most recent quarterly checklist at Section 1B of the weekly edition and the most recent edition of Cumulative List of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, verify that all amendments published at Section 4 of weekly editions of Admiralty Notices to Mariners following the publications of the most recent edition of Annual Notices to Mariners Part 2, which is entitled Amendments to Sailing Directions, have been applied. If the most editions of all Admiralty publications are not available, the most recent editions can be bought from Admiralty chart agents, and back copies of weekly editions of Admiralty Notices to Mariners can be downloaded from the UKHO website, which is the www.ukho.gov.u. And the new editions of Admiralty Sailing Directions are updated by a process of continuous revision, with titles republished as new editions at approximately 3-year intervals. Some volumes indicated in the catalog of Admiralty charts and publications are on an extended cycle of approximately 5 years, and the supplements are released every 4 years and are still being revised in some, mainly older editions of sailing directions. They are cumulative in nature, so when each supplement is published, it completely replaces its predecessor and any Section 4 notices that have been published since either the most recent edition or the prior supplement. When you order a copy of Sailing Directions, any available supplements for that volume are automatically included with the parent book. And the current editions, see Annual Notices to Mariners Part 2 Amendments to Sailing Directions for information on the current editions of Sailing Directions, as well as their most recent supplements, if appropriate, at the publishing dates of new editions. This information is also available in Catalog of Admiralty Charts and Publications, the Cumulative List of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, and the weekly editions of Admiralty Notices to Mariners Section 1B. And the next one is Admiralty List of Lights and Fog Signals. So Admiralty Lights and fog signals. So directions for updating. The newest information obtained by the UKHO is included in each version of the Admiralty list of lights and fog signals, which supersedes the previous edition. Updates to each book will be published in Section 5 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, which can be ordered via authorized Admiralty agents or downloaded from the UKHO website. Weekly amendments should be reported in the table at the beginning of each volume. Section 5 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, which announces the publishing of the new edition, will contain the revision that collect during the book production time. In the new edition first amendment box, a cutout, which is the new edition message, is pasted. New and significantly updated entries should be pasted in. It is suggested that all minor changes be recorded in the manuscript, and each single modified entry will be printed in its entirety, or even small changes with an asterisk mark indicating which column includes an update. An asterisk mark will show under all columns if there is a new light. When a light is turned off, remove from list is used, and remove fog signal is used when the fog signal is turned off. So let's proceed to Admiralty list of radio signals. So, directions for updating. The newest information obtained by the UKHO is included in each version of the Admiralty list of radio signals, which supersedes the previous edition. The weekly edition of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, Section 6 of which can be bought from licensed Admiralty agents or via the UKHO website, will contain subsequent revisions to each volume. Note that only the latest edition of NP 284 is updated. Weekly amendments should be reported in the table at the beginning of each volume. Section 6 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, which announces the publishing of the new edition, will contain the revision that collect over-the-box production time. In the new edition First Amendment box, a cut-out, which is the new edition message, is pasted. New and significantly updated entries should be pasted in. It is suggested that all minor changes be recorded in the manuscript. And all modifications include the weekly edition number. If necessary, make changes to the appropriate indexes and diagrams, which can be obtained in color from the UKHO website. Quarterly, in Section 6 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notices to Mariners, a cumulative list of revisions is issued, which offers a summary list of the entries in the current editions that have been amended. And the last one is the other miscellaneous publications. So before start chart color correction, the first one is highlight the charts which you have on board with highlighter pen in the correction log NP1338. The second one is note down in the correction log correction number from all ANMS that are to be corrected in an ascending order. Voyage charts must be corrected first, followed by all charts on board, and pull out the affected chart and confirm from the notice the number whether the last correction affecting the chart is entered at the bottom left-hand corner of the chart. And after completing each correction, note down the correction number at the bottom left-hand corner of the chart, and note down the correction number and the week in which that correction received in correcting log NP1338. Strike out the correction number written in chart correction log by pencil, and strike out the chart number, the correction in ANM or the tracing. Before moving to the next chart, correct all corrections or as noted from all ANMS affecting the chart. And here are the steps on the new chart. So the first one is highlight the chart number in the correction log. Erase all the old corrections, or in case if the new edition, and write the edition date in the pen. Enter the chart folio and sequence number from the index. In case of a new edition, this information is already present. Correct the chart for any pending corrections. Record these corrections in chart correction log in pencil, and correct the Admiralty chart catalog in P131 if affected, and cancel the old edition of the chart by writing boldly on top the word cancelled and remove it from the page. And for the old charts, here are the steps. Check that the edition is currently in the cumulative notice to mariners. The second one is check the latest cumulative notice to mariners against the chart number of uncorrected notices, and note them down in the correction log, and start by correcting the latest correction first and proceed backward until all the notices are corrected. And cumulative list of Admiralty notices to mariners is published every 6 months and list correction numbers affecting each chart for the last 2 years. This should be used to verify that all corrections affecting a particular chart have been carried out. It also gives the date of issue of the current edition of each chart. So that's all for the corrections to nautical publications. Thank you.